Hey everyone, just want to say I love you. I know right now things are really crazy and confusing and difficult. And you need to know that more than anything, your church, we love you and we're there for you. So just remember, if anything goes on, if you're struggling with anything, don't hesitate to contact any of our church staff. We want to help you and be able to work together as a team to get through a really challenging time. And so with that said, I want to bring you to a verse that we need to hold on to and be reminded of. And it comes in 2 Timothy 1:7, where the Apostle Paul writes this. He says, God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. And so we're not going to be controlled by fear, but we are going to use our brains, we're going to use wisdom, and we're going to navigate through this really difficult time, trusting God that He's got us, and using the wisdom that He's provided through so many smart, intelligent people and so many resources. So let's trust God, let's come together as a team. Now, what that means is that it's been required of us not to meet together as a church family for community worship service. And so what we're going to do as a church family is we're going to not have our Sunday morning worship services until April 19th. So that's 4 Sundays. And I know it's going to be a long time, and it's going to be really challenging for us, but it's going to be the best thing for us and a great way for us to love our community and help get ahead of the spread of this virus. So we're working together and we're showing love for our community. But here's the exciting thing. We don't need to be sad and upset about it, because remember, God gave us a spirit of power. And so we are trusting that God is going to provide for us as we move out into our community. Listen, the church has never been about a building, and the church has never been about Sunday morning worship services. The church has always been about, you guessed it, people. And the church has officially left the building. In fact, the church is going to be all over Iowa City, Coralville, North Liberty. Shout out to West Liberty and Lone Tree. The church is mobilizing and going to all these different communities. So I'm excited about the opportunities that have been given to us for you to be the church right where you are. So what we're doing is we're going to help you do church right in your own neighborhood, in your own home, with your family, whoever you want to invite into your home to share and worship. This is an opportunity for you to be the church. So what we're providing for you are resources, and our staff has come together to pull together some great resources to help you do church this coming weekend. So I'm going to just walk through those steps, what we've provided for you and how you can utilize them. So first of all, make sure that you always go to our church website, iowacitychurch.org. Hit that up, put it in your favorites, go there, because that's where we're going to put all of the content. Now remember, if you haven't liked us on Facebook or signed up for email, do those as well so you can keep in the loop with as much information as possible. So once you go to our church website, where you're going to find on Saturday and on Sunday is you're going to find a teaching video, a sermon video that I'm going to prepare. Chris is going to produce, along with some announcements, some help on communion, but that's going to be available to you. Now you can do it in a couple ways. You can worship with us as a community. It's going to be a very cool, interactive thing that you can do on your computer with your family. But if those times don't work out for you, you can also watch the video anytime that you want. All of that will be on our church website available for you. The other thing that you need to do is you need to be prepared to share in communion. As we always say, our communion is open. Anyone that's a believer in Jesus is invited to share in communion. And so you get to have the opportunity to share in communion with your family, whoever you've invited into your home to do church. So make sure you get that Welch's ready and find those crackers, bread, whatever works, and make sure that you share in communion together with your family or whoever's with you. The other thing that we're asking you to do is make sure you just spend some time in prayer. Obviously praying for our community, our country, praying for our church, praying for us as leaders, and praying for opportunities to share the love of Jesus. And then the last thing that we're really looking for you to do, one last thing I forgot, is kids. If you have kids, hopefully you've already been in connection with Pastor Chris, but if you haven't, make sure you contact him. He will have a plethora of resources available to you to help you handle your kids, because I know it's going to get crazy. He wants to help you out with resources, so make sure and check out contacting with him. Likewise for our students, Lifehouse students, hopefully Chris, I know, has already reached out to many of them, if not all of them, If they haven't heard from him or you have questions, make sure and ask him about that as well, because Lifehouse will not be meeting in correspondence with the school district and what they're doing as well. So make sure and contact them. Keep up with Chris, as he has information for your family and your students. Okay, one last thing. Please, please, please continue to be generous. Now, I know some of you are going to go through some really difficult times regarding jobs, finances. I get that. Everyone is going to struggle. But God is providing us opportunities to be generous. And if you have the ability to be generous, we ask that you please be generous, because just like you, we not only have bills to pay, but there are a lot of ministries that are dependent upon us, not only here locally, like through IC Compassion, but different missionaries around the globe. So continue to be generous as God allows, as you are able to do so. And there are many ways that maybe you haven't considered in the past doing that you can do now. So what I need you to do is just take a minute and go to our church website, and there we have a little button where it says Count Me In. Just click on that and set up a different way to give, whether it's using PayPal, which maybe you've never done before, but this might be a time to set up an account and start doing that. You might need that for a lot of other applications as well, so consider that. Or maybe you can just write a check. I mean, we're still going to get the mail and pick that up, so you can simply write a check. The address is there in that page. Or many of you use your bank's bill pay feature, and we do get a lot of people that give that way. So consider those as opportunities to be generous as you are able. And let's work together to be generous and to share the love of Jesus in our community. All right, 1, 2, 3 last things, and then I'm going to wrap this up. The first thing is, you need to be the hands and feet of Jesus in your neighborhood and with each other. So check in on each other. If you know someone in the church, reach out through text message, through phone calls. Check in on neighbors. Let's love our community, love those around us as best as we are able. And sometimes it's just a phone call to reach out and say, how are you doing? Hey, the other thing is, you're going to have opportunities to share the love of Jesus, to share the gospel, and invite people to church. It happened just yesterday when I got my hair cut. The conversation quickly turned towards her concerns, things that are going on, and I was able to pray with her about her brother Larry, who's in ICU already. And I invited her to continue to connect with us in our church. You're going to have that kind of opportunity as well. So be willing and open to not only share your faith, but say, hey, can I pray for you? Because people in a situation where it's chaotic and there's a lot of difficult, critical decisions that are being made, they're more than welcome to talk about who God is and about your faith and receiving prayer. Here's the last thing. I cannot wait for this to be over. And when it's over, we're going to celebrate. We're going to party, we're going to have a feast, and we're going to celebrate that we got through this together and with God's strength and with His power. So let's hang in there, let's keep in contact, be the church, and let's ride through this storm together. Hey, I love you guys, and we'll see you soon.